Alright. Irashaimase. Or maybe tadaima, whatever is the appropriate thing to get us going. This is actually a different book. It is the same book, but notice it does not have that 30 on the top. Also, that and that are the best fixes for my eustachian tubes troubles. Alright, I'm not going to show you the names of people, and it may be that I don't post this because I haven't read the answers yet. I do think it's interesting. I wrote down, think about it. Well, I didn't write down think about it. It's already there. And I don't know what Hebrews 12:1 is. I should look it up. And I wrote down guilt, grudges, and grief disables our feelings. I can identify with that. Now, I don't remember what that is. Today. Okay, what areas of my life do I have power, control over? Be specific. Today. Which is an improvement over now. Right. Because when I was in an acute, I think it was a myasthenia crisis, or it was fixed with a lot of steroids. I put on a lot of weight. Anyways, that was at a time where there was a point where I didn't think I'd be alive for 5 more minutes. It was so hard to breathe. All right, so what is my answer now? What area of my life do I have power over? Well, I'm going to say I have power to create new habits. That's what I'm trying to do here. Using what I learned, which I think has been kind of translated as dialectical behavior therapy, but I learned it in a Buddhist temple from, Buddhists who taught me why they deserved Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which I'll talk about another time. What areas of my life are out of control, unmanageable, be specific? I asked DHS for help keeping my kids safe. Now I have to wait for the price of that help to be paid off. Wow, ain't that the truth? What's out of my control, unmanageable? Well, I think I'm still paying for the price of that assistance that I asked for. So, what did I write here? How do you think taking this first step will help you? Celebrate Recovery is familiar to me and prepared me for my recent struggles. Since I'm hiding from having to talk about these things to people I used to know, it's helping my PTSD to restart old habits. Yeah, actually, it's kind of where I am again. I am literate, I just can't see very well. In your family of origin, what was the family secret that everyone was trying to protect? I wrote down domestic violence. I think the only thing I would add to that is terrorism, domestic terrorism. And I think that either of those answers, that's my new answer. How do I handle pain and disappointment? I am the scapegoat. I tolerate it and let it die with me, trying not to impose it on others. I kind of took on the goal of being a hurt sink. Like computers have heat sinks, and I'm not saying I did this because I'm a good person. I think I did that because I have a lot of empathy for the people who were making mistakes. I saw that even though they were making mistakes, they were making it because of good intentions. The most angry I've ever seen my father is when I called my grandpa racist after a long, like hour-long conversation where my dad spent a lot of effort trying to make me feel comfortable talking to him about anything that was happening. And I didn't expect my dad, after telling me I could bring up any topic, to then be so angry at the topic that I brought up. And I don't even want to talk about it now in terms of liking my grandpa less, or loving him any less, or respecting him any less. He survived the Depression. He survived World War II. And his boat in the Pacific was sunk by the Japanese. And what did I do? I learned Spanish, French, and then spent a year learning German, and then I went to live with Japan, or in Japan, with the Japanese, the people who literally killed his peers. He watched people burn and drown and get eaten by sharks. And I went to Japan, and he, when I came back, was convinced I came back with demons. And it took a very long time to figure this out, because he made comments about my dad coming back with demons. And I think my dad came back with an STD, which I don't say because I'm proud of it, and I'm sure I wouldn't talk about it, except that he's passed now. But it explained why my grandfather, treated... My grandpa believed I picked up these demons, and my brother did a hell of a job convincing him that I was possessed. I actually sat for an exorcism at the recommendation of Joel Kinney, who I knew from Alpha Music before my brother went to live with him. And the day he was moving in with Joel Kinney, I had to go and watch the kids in my mom's business, because he dropped an air conditioner on himself and needed stitches. So I've always been the one people could go to. We'll move to the next question. I was surprised, though, when I needed help, that I was treated like I was treated. I guess that's the bit I'm ashamed to admit, but it's not my shame. How can I begin to address my denial? I need to learn how to talk about things in a healthy and honest way. I will no longer burden myself with others' unhealthy secrets. I was surprised with how much punishment I endured for reporting violence that I was required by my profession to report. In what areas of your life are you now beginning to face reality and break the effects of denial? I've been dealing with reality a long time. I just haven't mastered other people's denial. Well, that's still true. My parents' inability to stay connected to reality taught me to journal and log. Yeah, that's true. So in what areas of my life are you now beginning to face reality? Yep, I have kept that one going. I've been sending it in emails now for a long time. Let's see, I think I'm missing a page here. Oops. Are you starting to develop a support team? Are you asking for phone numbers in your meetings? List them here, or the inside back cover of this participant's guide. I saw them in the cover, so I don't think they're here. Yes, I kept a list of supportive people even at SOS. It's important to remember there are good people everywhere. I'm establishing new relationships with people who don't know my family, so I can speak freely. Wow, I sound more sane than I remembered myself being. I'd intended